Hello, welcome. Let's preview the game. This is a video for Patreon members and for YouTube as well. Liverpool away, tough. I mean, as tough as they come. We've spoken earlier in the week about Liverpool, and of course last night, as we record on this Wednesday afternoon, Liverpool winning by a goal to nil last night against Girona in the Champions League. So, albeit they had no game last week, they won it last night in the Champions League. Mohamed Salah yet again with the goal, this time from the penalty spot. Let's just have a look at their lineup from last night. So Alisson Becker back in goal. The back four, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Gomez, Van Dijk, Robertson. Three in midfield in Szoboszlai, Gravenberch and Curtis Jones. And a front three of Salah, Nunez and Luis Diaz, Gakpo, Elliott and Wataru Endo coming off the bench. Only named 8 subs last night, did Liverpool. They do have a few injuries. Chiesa, Bradley, Konate, Tsimikas, all out. Chiesa is an illness. I'm not sure, maybe he'll be in contention. We've hardly seen him this season, have we, for Liverpool? So he might be in contention for the game at the weekend. Fulham on a really good run. 3 games unbeaten since the defeat to Wolves. Draws to Spurs and Arsenal and a win against Brighton as well, sandwiched in between those 2 games. But they do have their issues as well. No Tom Kearney, no Calvin Bassey, no Harrison Reed, no Joachim Anderson, and no Reece Nelson. So 5 players out for Fulham. And also, of course, with 2 centre-backs out, I would imagine that when the under-21s play on Friday against Derby, we might not see Samuel Amissa involved, as he might be travelling up to Anfield with the squad, because it will be, I assume will be Diop and Cuenca playing at centre-back, but we'll need a backup on the bench, and Amissa might just be that guy. And you never know, the way the game goes, he might have to come on off the bench as well if something were to happen, but let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's have a look at the lineup against Arsenal and then compare it to how we might line up against Liverpool, and then we'll see how we think the game's going to go. Not going to be an extensively 20-minute preview, this one. I think it's just fairly self-explanatory. Liverpool is the toughest game. Liverpool away is probably the toughest game right now to have. But Fulham have done fairly well when they've gone to top 6 teams so far this season. United away, ran them close, ended up losing. It's the only game that Fulham have failed to score in so far this season. Went to Manchester City, probably should have won the game even though we lost 3-2. It was just before City started to slide. But that was, again, an under-par performance from Manchester City, and then Fulham going to Tottenham and being the better team, and again should have won the game really against Tottenham, and then obviously hosting Arsenal and getting a point from them as well. So it's been good. They lost to Villa, obviously. They're not traditional top 6, but yeah. So we've still got Chelsea and Liverpool to play. Chelsea coming on Boxing Day. Let's have a look at this lineup. Leno, Tete, Diop, Bassey, Robinson, Berger, Lukic, Traore, Smith-Rowe, Iwobi, Jimenez. Now, I actually think that there won't be many changes to this team whatsoever. Let's look at the bench. Andres Pereira, Harry Wilson, Rodrigo Muniz, Jorge Cuenca, Bender, Sessegnon, Castagna, King and Martial Godot. I really think that this is nothing on Smith-Rowe. I thought his performance against Arsenal was difficult. It was a bit ineffective, but Fulham did have a little bit more about them when Pereira did come on. He actually created the only real chance that Fulham had in the second half. Based on that, I'm going to make... it'll be 2 changes to this team. In comes Jorge Cuenca for Calvin Bassey, and I'm going to say that Pereira starts ahead of Smith-Rowe, just behind Raul Jimenez. So it would be a lineup of Leno, Tete, Diop, Cuenca, Robinson, Lukic, Berger. They were phenomenal against Arsenal. They keep their places. Iwobi on one side, Traore on the other, just to give us a bit of an outball, a bit of a threat on the counter-attack. Pereira in the 10 and Raul Jimenez up top. Wouldn't be surprised if Pereira doesn't start and Smith-Rowe keeps his place. But in terms of off-the-ball pressing and what Pereira might give us on the ball in counter-attacking situations, he may start and he might get the nod over Smith-Rowe, which would mean the bench would look something like this. It'd be like Smith-Rowe, Wilson, Muniz, Emissa, Bender, Sessegnon, Castagna, King, Godot. So it wouldn't actually change that much the bench. I doubt Anderson's going to be back. Reed obviously won't be. Tom Kenny's out for another game, as is Nelson. Nelson is still suffering a hamstring injury, and Bassi is suspended as well. So not the best looking bench, but there's still some good options with either AP or Smith Rowe, Wilson, and Rodrigo Muniz. With 3 attacking options to come off the bench. Even Sessegnon, who came on against Spurs and did very well. Sometimes we change it around. If Tete's picked up a booking, Castagna can come on, and even Martial Godot and Josh King, players who have a bright future and haven't seen many minutes this season, especially Martial Godot actually. He could come on and be an attacking force. And Josh King as well can play in the number 8 position, the number 10 position. Obviously coming on at Anfield will be a huge occasion for him. So yeah, this is going to be a tough one. Liverpool on absolute fire. Only lost 1 game this season in all competitions, and that was to Nottingham Forest. A team that have had a similar sort of start to the season as we have actually, have been slightly maybe more impressive within individual results. We still have beaten Forest this season. So can we go to Anfield and win? I think it's a tough ask. I think if we had a full roster where we had, Anderson and Bassi and Reed and Kearney all as options and Nelson, I think I would put us in a better chance of winning or getting something from this game. And I think Fulham are capable of definitely disrupting Liverpool and definitely frustrating them and holding their shape and then trying to hit them on the break. We saw that against Manchester City. This Fulham team can do it. What makes me nervous is that on that day we were playing Anderson and Bassi, and on Saturday it's going to be Diop and Cuenca, who haven't played any Premier League minutes alongside each other. I don't even think they played alongside each other. I don't think they played alongside each other against Preston North End in the Cup, because I remember Anderson starting the one at Birmingham. So they've hardly played minutes together, but that will be something that will be worked on this week in training ground. But Liverpool have so many threats. I mean, Salah right now is on the form of his life. Luis Diaz, Nunez, Gakpo, they're all scoring goals. Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones, they're all doing very, very well. Trent coming up with more assists. Robertson's been solid. Obviously no Konate, but Van Dijk and Gomez, or Van Dijk and Kwanzaa, whoever plays in those centre-back positions, have been very, very good. There was a suggestion that someone's made a suggestion in the last few weeks that Liverpool's home performances haven't been as good, as solid as you'd expect, but I would fairly disagree. I think that beating Manchester City 2-0, and they were pretty comfortable in doing that. Just about seeing past Chelsea, that was a difficult game. The same maybe against so there have been games where they have gone behind. Against Brighton, they still came back to win that. Swatted away Villa fairly easily as well. They haven't had many a home game actually recently. It's been mainly away from home that Liverpool have played. But just looking through their fixtures right now, I mean, yes, they've had a couple of scares at home, but actually they've just been fairly solid and actually come away with the win. And in those games where we played them last season, we ran them at a close race on both occasions. It was 1-0 up in the Carabao Cup first leg and ended up losing 2-1. We drew the game at 1-1 and then took the lead at 3-2 at Anfield, still ended up losing the game. That was a game where Liverpool scored 4 absolutely incredible goals from range, and I don't necessarily expect that's going to happen again. That was one of those days where everything went in for Liverpool, and even Fulham battled so hard in that game and still almost got something from the game. This one's going to be difficult, as obviously Jurgen Klopp transitioning to Arne Slot. They'll be a little bit slower in their build-up, but their final third presence, Liverpool. I mean, the goal that Salah scored against Newcastle to make it 3-2, the intricate play in and around the box, it makes me incredibly nervous. And Liverpool right now are at the peak of their powers. But when you're on such a good run of form, you can maybe rest on your laurels. You can maybe get complacent, but I don't think Liverpool will be complacent at all, knowing that Chelsea are only just 4 points behind them in the table. I don't see anything other than a Liverpool win here. However, I think we're going to give them a good game, because that's what we've done all season. We've given teams very, very good games and made it difficult for them. So to sum up, I think Fulham are going to lose by 2-1. I think we may take the lead and see something that we've seen against Liverpool many a time, where we've taken the lead and ended up not coming away with the result. I mean, even at Cottage, we levelled things up last season with Castagna, making it 1-1. We still came away and losing 3-1 in that game. Yeah, it's going to be a real tough one. But with 3 unbeaten, the confidence is high. If Cuenca and Diop have a good partnership, they really could actually frustrate that Liverpool attack. It's all about trying to defend our box, and then when we get the ball, try and hit them on the break. And players like Adama and players like Traore can really set us going, actually. And that's where we got joy against Man City. It's where we got joy in the past in other games as well, where we've tried to hit teams on the counter attack. And there's no reason as to why we can't do that. And Jimenez is on good form right now. And if he gets into the box and gets into good opportunities, I think Fulham will create chances. Harry Wilson scored there last season. He might be on the bench. And Smith Rowe or Pereira. These are players who can create and players who can make things happen. So I just think Liverpool right now are incredibly strong. If they were coming off a defeat in the week, maybe I'd feel a little bit more confident. But right now, Liverpool are the strongest team in the league. I think if I was to preview any other game right now, any other stadium between any of the 18 teams, I'd predict Fulham to get a result. But it's just that Liverpool right now are one of the best teams in the world, one of the best coached teams in the world right now as well. That their midfield is working so well. Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones. Obviously, I think McAllister's going to be out of this one actually as well because he's suspended, because McAllister got a 5th yellow against Newcastle. That would have been the Everton game. It then got postponed, so he's out of this game. So that is somewhat of a boost for Fulham. He scored an incredible goal, didn't he, McAllister, last season against Fulham. I think I'll end it there. I would be amazed if Fulham were to get something from this game, but that's not doing us a disservice. That's just bigging up how good Liverpool are, and actually, they've got a 4-point gap at the top of the table with a game in hand as well because of the game against Everton being postponed. So if they were to win against Fulham, that'd be a nice, chunky, healthy lead at the top again, depending on other results. So tough one this, but like I say, if this was Chelsea away, if this was Arsenal away, if this was City away, I'd be backing Fulham to get something. But Liverpool, they're just very, very tough. But Fulham have come up with some incredible results in recent years in the Premier League. So, you just never know. You just never know. Thanks so much for watching. Any Liverpool fans watching, please give me your thoughts down below. Anyone thinking, God, I could listen to this guy talk again, then do subscribe to my Patreon. £5 per month, $5.50 per month. We do everything. We talk Fulham every day, and that's not just sitting here and talking about games and results. We go to games in the press box, and that's first team and under 21s games as well. We were there last night, an incredible 5-3 win for the Fulham under 21s against Hertha Berlin. We're back on Friday for the derby game as well at Motspur Park before heading up to Anfield bright and early on Saturday as well. Lots of games to come during this busy Christmas period. Thank you so much for watching, and come on Fulham, and we'll be back on Sunday to review it all. The game we'll be back to review the game on Sunday from Anfield, or not from Anfield, but the game at Anfield. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and we'll speak soon.